Alright, imagine this, you've got a fresh apple. You put it in a box and just leave it there. You go off, live your life, and come back. Let's say in 10 years. You open the box and surprise, the apple's a shriveled, rotting mess. Not the most appetizing snack, right? But here's where it gets fun. What if, after all those years of rotting, the apple just reverses itself? Like magic. What if it decays back into a fresh apple? Yeah, I know, sounds weird, but welcome to the world of quantum physics. Now, in the everyday world, once that apple starts to rot, it's game over. It's not going to magically turn back into a shiny, fresh fruit just because you wait long enough. That's the arrow of time at play. Entropy. Once things fall apart, they're not going to come back together, right? Wrong, or at least maybe not in the quantum world. In quantum mechanics, there's this thing called time reversibility. If you zoom in really small, like microscopic small quantum particles can go forwards or backwards in time. Yeah, particles can essentially time travel. Now, you might be thinking, great, so quantum mechanics just turned my apple into a time-traveling, regenerating fruit. Thanks for that. But no, that's not exactly how it works. You see, the problem is that in the quantum world, particles like electrons and photons exist in superposition, meaning they can exist in multiple states at once, like being in two places at the same time. But once we start dealing with macroscopic objects like, an actual apple, the whole superposition thing starts to break down. Let me give you a quick quantum fact. Particles don't care if time is moving forwards or backwards. They just do their thing. But an apple? That's a whole different story. When the apple rots, a huge number of molecules are interacting in complex ways. It's not just about one little particle making a decision. It's an entire system falling apart. And in our everyday world, entropy means things always get worse, never better. You can't just throw your apple in a box and expect it to reverse the clock. But what if you could create some kind of super advanced, quantum-locked, ultra-secure apple time machine? That's where things get tricky. In theory, if the apple, the box, and the air around it were all somehow entangled like quantum entangled, there might be a way to reverse its state. Quantum tunneling. Anyone? You could imagine the apple's atoms slipping through time like a kid sneaking cookies from the jar, and bam, your rotten apple is fresh again. But we're still in the realm of science fiction here. Why doesn't this happen in real life? Because macroscopic objects like apples don't just spontaneously follow quantum rules. They're part of something called decoherence. Once you have enough particles interacting, the whole quantum superposition thing falls apart, and we're left with the solid, very not quantum world we know. So no, your apple isn't going to undo years of decay, no matter how long you wait. Quantum physics is great for particles, but it doesn't mean we're all going to wake up tomorrow and see our apples undoing their rot like some kind of magic trick. So, the question is, could an apple reverse its decay under the right conditions? In theory, sure, but not in the way we'd like. In reality, entropy always wins in our everyday world. Time goes in one direction forward. That means no matter how much we hope for it, we can't just throw an apple in a box, close the lid, and wait for it to be fresh again. At least, not with the technology we have right now. This paradox isn't just about apples, though. It's about time, decay, and how quantum mechanics works in ways that don't match our normal everyday experiences. It challenges the way we think about the flow of time and how the universe handles big things like, fruit. Maybe one day, we'll figure out how to reverse the arrow of time on a larger scale. But for now, all we've got is quantum particles doing their thing, while we're stuck with aging apples and a few dreams of time travel. And hey, if you ever find that magical apple time machine, let me know. I'd be all in for a fresh apple from 10 years ago.